All right. Good morning, everybody. Luis Morales here, health fitness specialist with Exos at Autodesk. It's 11 a.m. Thursday morning, kind of gloomy here in Northern California. Time to get away from the desk and get a little bit of movement in. So before we get started, if you guys feel like there's anything that needs a little bit of extra love, a little bit of extra attention as far as stretching or movement goes, go ahead and drop it in the chat. We can definitely work it into what we have planned as far as a kind of movement menu goes. So give you guys a second to do that. If you guys got nothing, we can go ahead and get it going. And what we're going to do is start in the position that I'm in right now, which is half kneeling. So if you want to grab a pillow or something that will help lessen the load for the knee that's on the ground, you guys can go ahead and do so. I'm starting with my left knee on the ground here. This is a stretch that I believe all of us need, like we need air. So the hip flexor stretch. Once we got one knee on the ground, we're going to start by squeezing the glute of that same side knee. So I'm putting my hand here, squeezing my glute super hard. We're going to find those abs, push the hips forward just a little bit if you need to find a little bit more tension. But once you can find some medium tolerable tension, this is just where we're going to hang out. This is where we're going to breathe. Letting that stomach kind of expand, push into that stretch. Keep that glute nice and squeezed. Good job, you guys. Good job. All right, one more breath in this hip flexor stretch position. Nicely done. All right, guys, we can let go of the tension in the glute, bring the hips back a little bit. Let's switch it on over to the other side. So whatever knee we had down first, let's go and switch it over. And from here, we'll go through that same checklist. First, finding that glute squeeze. Then finding the abs, pushing the hips forward just a little bit, trying to get a medium stretch in here. And then once we find that tension, we're just breathing into that tension. Good job, everybody. Let that lower stomach expand as much as possible. Remember, it's just, we're looking for a medium stretch here. If you're stretching, you feel like it's about to tear or you're making kind of a wincing face, go ahead and ease up on yourself a little bit. All right, last breath here, guys. Keep that glute squeezed. Nicely done. Okay, let's come out of that tension, shift our weight back. And from here, we can now move onto the ground, more specifically onto our backs. I'm gonna bring my camera down here so you guys can see me. Slowly make your way into laying down on your back here in your space. And now what we can do is stretch out the back side of our body just a little bit more. So I'm gonna start with my left leg. Left leg is gonna come up in the air. Knee is bent. I'm gonna take my hands, interlace them behind my leg and place them above the knee, here kind of on my hamstring. I'm gonna keep that knee slightly bent here. And what we're gonna do now, as we kind of support our leg with our arms, is move the ankle a little bit. So as we drive the heel up towards the ceiling, we should start to feel some tension, maybe in the calf, the hamstring. And then go ahead and ease off the tension, point the toes up towards the sky. We're just gonna go back and forth here, trying to work the heel as close to the ceiling as we can, just for a second, and then pointing those toes up towards the ceiling as well. It's almost like we're stepping on and off the gas pedal in the car. Don't forget to breathe. Just looking for some momentary tension as we move the heel up, and then letting it go as we point the toes up. Notice if you're initially holding your breath, make sure you can still breathe. Loosening up the backside of our bodies here, guys. All right, let's do one more each way. So toes up one last time, and then the heel up one last time. Nicely done. Okay. Slowly let that leg bend. We can bring that one down to the ground. And let's go ahead and switch it over. So my right leg is now coming up. Interlace those fingers behind the leg. Support that leg as it's up in the air. And then from here, we can start to point the toes up and then work that heel all the way up to the ceiling. If you guys aren't feeling as much tension, it's okay to kind of use the arms to pull the leg in closer to the chest. But usually we can kind of get enough tension just letting that leg hang in our hands. Good job, you guys. It's okay if we get a little shaky too as we move our ankle back and forth. All right, one more time, toes up towards the ceiling. And then last time, heel up towards the ceiling. Nicely done, you guys. Okay, slowly let that knee bend. Bring it on down. All right, and so we're already on the ground. Next up, what we can do is a little bit of upper body rotation. So let's all roll onto one side. I'm gonna roll onto my right side so you guys can see me. And what we're gonna do is one of my favorites, great for opening up the upper body, the chest, the shoulders, the whole spine, or most of the spine, I should say. Let's bring those knees up on top of each other, up around hip level, as you can see. Knees are pretty even with my hips here. Arms are gonna be outstretched, one on top of the other, out here in front. And you can either rest your head on the ground or kind of keep it up, whatever's most comfortable for you. Totally welcome to use a pillow as well. And what we're gonna do here is open up like a big book. So I'm gonna keep my eye on this top hand. And as this top hand opens up my body, I'm gonna turn my neck to look at that hand the whole way. The goal here is to open up as much as possible while keeping those knees and the whole lower body pretty static. Once you get out to a nice open position, you can slowly start to close the book again. We'll turn our head to face both hands now. And now we can repeat, just slowly kind of going at your own pace. You can pause and take a breath in the outstretched position. I want this to be relaxing for everybody. So we're not looking for any extra big stretching, not looking to go fast. I actually have a funny story for you guys. So we're gonna do 2 more reps here, nice and slow. Back when I was working in a physical therapy clinic, I had a guy come in, he was doing this movement and he was so relaxed and was moving so slow that he fell asleep. He fell asleep in the outstretched position. And so that was pretty funny. That's how relaxed I aim to be when doing this. All right, you guys, as we finish up that last rep, let's go ahead and switch it over to the other side. Now you guys can roll on over if you'd like. I'm gonna turn myself around so you guys are still facing my front side, you can see what I'm doing. We're basically gonna replicate the same thing on the other side. So getting those knees up around hip level, keeping those legs glued together. Now we can really open up to the other side, turning to look at that hand all the way. And then close our book. By now, you guys may be able to tell which side is a little bit tighter than the other. Which side may need a little more or a few more repetitions as far as this movement goes in order to quote unquote even it out. Everyone's doing great. We got 2 more to go. Moving nice and slow, looking at that hand the entire way. All right, you guys, last one. Open up like a big book. Make sure to breathe. And then let's close it one last time. Nicely done, you guys. Okay, we got time for one more quick one. So let's go ahead and slowly make our ways up. Let's come all the way up into standing. But once we're all the way up into standing, kind of shake those arms out a little bit. Good shake always feels pretty good. And what we're gonna do is now address our necks. So with those feet planted about shoulder width apart, what we can do here, relaxing those arms, we wanna be tight in the tummy a little bit just to make sure the spine doesn't go anywhere else. Let's bring the chin down to the chest, and from here we'll do some neck circles. So starting whichever way you want, we're gonna do 3 big rotations, taking it slow, trying to go as big as we possibly can with our neck range of motion here, trying to draw a big circle with the nose. Don't forget to breathe during this one as well. Want to make sure we're not holding our breaths or going into any ranges that hurt. All right, we're just doing 3. So once we do that 3, we'll just go ahead and reverse directions. You might hear some pops and some cracks, and that's typically okay. Comes with the territory when rotating the neck like this. The only time you really want to worry is if you hear a really loud pop and it's associated with some immediate pain. That's typically the signs that something could be wrong. All right, guys, wherever you're at, make this the last rotation. We'll end with our chins on our chest or as close as we can get to it, and then slowly bring that head back up. All right, you guys, thank you so much for joining me. That is all the time I have left today. Let's go ahead and get back to our days. Thank you guys once again, for joining me and coming to move with me. Don't forget, we do have exercise with Exos coming up at noon. So if you want to get a little sweat on with us, please come and join us. That's going to be at noon. And then we have another stretch break today at 2:30 p.m. with me. Hope everyone's staying safe, staying healthy out there. We'll see you guys next time.
Thanks, Luis.
See you guys. Great job.